Okay, that's good. Change thumbnail. Damn it, where'd it go? Let me just get the chat open. I doubt anybody's here yet. Oh wow, 5 people are already here. Let me just get the chat open. Let's oh, hi Commander Chris Stinger. Let's get the chat pop out here. Pop out chat. There we go. So we're just gonna wait for a couple people. Pop out chat. And here we go. Copy. Let's go to the Facebook and the Twitter and tell people I'm live streaming. Man, Facebook's taking forever to load. Let us go to here. Hey everybody, I'm live streaming. There, share now. Oh hey, Evan Smith's here too. Oh cool. Cool. I'm just gonna wait for a couple more people to show up before I start getting into everything and doing this map. This Star Wars Empire at War map. We got 7 people watching right now. That's awesome. Alright, let's get that pop-out chat on the side here. Oh, I've beat Empire at War so many times. And, what do you call it? Forces of Corruption. They're good games. They're fun. I like modding them. Fun games. I'm sorry if I cough and sniffle a lot. I'm actually very sick. Well, I'm getting over being very sick, so I'm just slightly sick. How many people we got watching? 9 people watching now. Heyo. Yeah, in Forces of Corruption, they kind of set it up like there'd be a sequel, and I feel like, well, I mean, we have Pandemic, the game company that made Empire at War. They've been quoted saying, "Yeah, we'll make a sequel," but EA has not wanted to work with them. So, and they're more interested in their first-person shooty games right now than anything like strategy. Because Pandemic makes fantastic strategy games. I heard Grey Goo was really good. Didn't play it though. But yeah, so this is the planet Thule, and I did that in a earlier video a couple months ago, or like a month ago. But I've got some custom props here. So props, I put them in desert. Nope, not generic. Props, desert. Where did I see it? There it is. We've got prop Thule energy farm. I guess I couldn't find the texture for, so I'll have to go find the texture later. Thule rock D. Let's put this guy right here. Oh, that's tiny. That's much bigger. Thule rock D X4. That's good. Let's see. Oh, Candor Sordo is here. Hey, Candor Sordo. I'm streaming for about hour and a half, maybe two. I've got some things I want to do before my girlfriend gets home. Just some stuff to do around the house. But right now I'm not doing anything. And yes, Evan Smith, Pandemic is an amazing game company. But I feel stupid now because I've been talking about Pandemic when in reality it's Petroglyph that makes Empire at War. Pandemic doesn't exist anymore. Oh, hey, Travis. Stop, Travis time. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Right now I'm making a map for Star Wars Empire at War, and this is Thule from the Clone Wars game back in 2003. And I did a video on it not too long ago. Do radius 200, I think it goes up to. Yep. Intensity 10. 1. So I thought what we could do with the stream today is while I just tinker with map editing in the background, I was thinking you guys could just pose whatever questions you like, whether it's about me, about the channel, about the videos, about Tad Larkin, about anything. Ask away and I will answer. Kind of like a Reddit Ask Me Anything, except I don't go on Reddit that often. How many people we got watching the stream? 8 people watching. Somebody got bored of me, I guess. Candor Sordo asks, do I have any hope for The Mandalorian? Well, I like Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau is a fantastic director. Fantastic writer as well. I don't really... part of me wants to watch it, because I like the guy's armor. I like how they're going to make it live action and a bit more rugged. Hopefully it's not too kiddish. Like, things I've noticed with Clone Wars and Rebels and Resistance is it's... For me personally, I'm not saying, it's kiddish for everybody. I'm just saying for me personally, so don't get your pitchforks out. They're a little bit kiddish to me. And I'd like to finally have a mature Star Wars show, one that George Lucas has been promising for forever, really, since 2005. And I really hope Favreau can deliver. My only fear was I saw the person who's directing the first episode. It was Dave Filoni, and if anybody follows my Twitter, I post a little gif of Frank from Always Sunny just going no when I found out Filoni's directing the first episode. Will I watch it? I have no plans on getting Disney's streaming service, so if I do watch it, it'll be through different means, whether legal or illegal. Just different means, not memes. Do do I have any hope for it? I mean, maybe it'll be good in the sense of the new canon. It's not going to be Legends, and my personal viewpoint is the only true Mandalorians out there are the ones we've seen in Legends. And these Mandos will most likely be more akin to what we saw in Clone Wars and Rebels, and you know, those aren't Mandalorian ideologies I agree with. But yeah, new canon standpoint, it might be good. You know, it might give hope to those new canon fans out there who, weren't happy with the Last Jedi or with Solo. So only time will tell on that. Let's see. Let's go back to the chat. Oh, yeah. Dave Filoni did destroy the Mandos. That's why I'm nervous about him directing the first Mandalorian episode. And he tried to put a band-aid on it with Rebels by making them not peaceful anymore, but then he just ruined everything else about the Mandos. I mean, the new canon Mandalorians are so about bloodline and about history and ancestry, while the old Mandalorians couldn't care less. They're all about, family is more than blood, and this is my best friend. He's my brother. Or, oh man, he's like a dad to me. Well, he is my dad because he adopted me. That's what the old Mandos were about, and that was something I could get behind. And that's why I grew up reading the Republic Commando books and just falling in love with the culture. And that's why eventually, when I got older, moved out of my parents' house and got a job and, got money, I built my own set of Mandalorian armor. Because, I fell in love with the culture and the ideology. Fictitious as it may be. Still, I wish they weren't. I'd fly off to Mandalore right now. Well, didn't they kill Sabine off in Clone Wars, or they were going to? Like, if they haven't already killed her off, they might as well kill her off in this next season. I honestly don't remember much of Season 5 and Season 6 of the Clone Wars because, I watched them once, and I wasn't even watching them for entertainment purposes at that point. At that point, I was so done with the show that I was just watching it just so I could not necessarily see what else they do wrong, maybe even more just to reaffirm like why I don't like it, I felt like if I didn't watch the whole series, I couldn't say I didn't like it. It's like people who say, "Oh, the EU is 90% trash," that never read 90% of the EU. So it's like, yeah, I don't feel like it's fair for me to say I hate Star Wars The Clone Wars, Star Wars is bad unless I saw the whole show. And yeah, I did see the whole show. It was just a long time ago, and I don't want to rewatch it. So, don't know if Sabine is alive or dead or not. If she isn't dead, which I feel like there was an episode where they killed her, or they were setting up an episode to kill her off, but, yeah. New films. I like the 501st and the Mandalorians even more. Yeah, the 501st are cool. We haven't seen a lot of the 501st in new canon. And I feel like we haven't seen a lot of the 501st in Legends either, apart from Star Wars Battlefront 2, the Clone Wars, and a few novels back when they were stormtroopers. But we haven't really seen a lot of the 501st as a legion. 501st are cool. Someday I'd like to make Stormtrooper and Clone Trooper armor. I'd honestly like to make Phase 1 ARC Trooper armor at some point in my life. But, whenever that's probably not going to happen for a while. But yeah, for people who are just joining into the stream, I'm kind of making this like a Q&A / hangout session, so ask me whatever questions you want. Um, really, no limit. They'll answer anything. Anything within reason. Um, just hanging out watching me make a map for Star Wars Empire at War. I would do a game or something, but I have no idea like what you guys would want to watch me play. I mean, I only have a few Star Wars games installed right now, and I don't think OBS works well with Republic Commando. I've tried it once. Oh, the disc version. I don't have the Steam version of Republic Commando. Hello, Kieran Cronenberg. What's up, my guy? Any new canon books that I've read and liked? I honestly haven't read a single new canon book. Not out of like spite or like hatred or anything, just merely out of disinterest. I think if I were to read any new canon books, it would be new canon books written by authors who wrote for Legends. Like, I would read Tarkin by James Luceno, and I would read the new Thrawn novel by Timothy Zahn, because those are authors that I know I like and that they have experience writing within the Star Wars universe, and they're just overall good authors. They're really good at writing and storytelling. So I feel like I would enjoy those novels. I just haven't gotten around to reading them or picking them up. If I can find a free audiobook, I'll listen to them and just see what all the hubbub's about. Let's get some mountains up here. What if Tartakovsky turned micro series into full show and did his own run of the with the Clone Wars instead of message retracted. Oh, he's probably retyping that one out. When's the Tad Larkin ASMR? I'm really sorry if I'm like smacking my lips and everything. My lips are dry. I would go get a drink, but I don't want to leave the stream. I would I'm also very sick too, so I apologize for that. Well, what's worth looking up is the Vader comics. They are really good. All right. If they're ever on, I go on a comic book website called readfreecomic.com, and I have ad blocks, so it blocks all the dumb anime porn ads. But yeah. If I see it on there, I'll give it a look, because I'm always on there to pull images for videos and stuff, especially comic book themed videos. Yeah, I know you're joking. I'm just, saying like, hey, I'm sick here. So sorry if my mic is shitty too. All right, Julio Exius. Hope I pronounced that correctly. What is Tartakovsky turned the micro series into a full show and did his own run of the Clone Wars instead of Filoni? Would have loved to see Kid Boba Fett. I think that would have been cool. Um, he definitely wanted to do a lot more with the series, but he was only given like 7-minute episode. No, he was given 5-minute episodes for the first season, 7-minute episodes for the second season, and then the last season he got 5 20-minute episodes. So there wasn't a lot he could have done with the series. I bet he would have liked to do more, and I wish George let him do more. But that's in the past. 'Twas a good show. I have no idea what I'm doing with this map. I'm kind of winging it, but I think I'm gonna have 5 capture points somewhere, and I'll have to make the CIS base somewhere. I have to make the city of the capital city of Thule there, Kesiak. The name escaped me for a moment. I apologize. Would I be interested in voice acting work? I honestly hate my voice. I think it is the worst thing ever, and I don't know why you guys listen to it. And in my YouTube videos, I do a lot of voice modifications just to make me sound more like gruff and more like a Mandalorian I feel should sound. But I mean, yeah, I'd be interested in doing voice acting work. It's always it's always good, and I like helping people out with their projects. I just, I hate my voice. I wish I had a deeper voice. I wish I had a more gruff voice. And I tried the very first Mandalore transmission I ever tried doing. I tried doing like a Jeremy Bullock Boba Fett voice, and it just didn't. It didn't go out. It didn't go the way I wanted. So I dropped that format immediately. Let's go back to the chat here. But the anime porn adds to the experience. It's not really something I want to see in the margins of the web page while I'm trying to read a comic. Maybe other people like that stuff, but no. All right. Let's make a city here, like a little So let's do height. Oh, we're on a height. We'll do leveling code brush. We'll set the terrain level to 0, 200, smooth weight. I think it goes up to 10. No, it only goes up to 1. Alright. I have my dog chained up in my study with me. He is... So if you hear pitter-pattering in the background, that's just him being a dog. Now, we can make this some sort of multi-tiered city. I have a Dark Reaper prop I'd like to put in the city. So, hold on, let me erase this mountain I made. Are you making a Battlefront 2 map? Nope, this is Star Wars Empire at War, Forces of Corruption. I guess we started a Clone Wars versus Clone Wars debate. Hey, Latvia Dragon, how are you doing? Give us the Tad lore, says Chris Stinger. I'll actually be doing a video on Tad Larkin. That's gonna be reserved for the 3,000 subscriber video. I have his whole history written out on my computer here. I even have a short story that I started writing. I'm only like 2 chapters in. That just it's about him and this gang of mercenaries that they go around. It's very Firefly-esque because I really like Firefly. So, oh hey Ryan Knight. I know I've said this like 3 times before, but people who are just joining into the stream now, this is just a little Q&A slash Q&A slash Hangout slash watch me do a Star Wars Empire at War map slash I've got nothing to do for the next hour and a half, so might as well do this and just interact with my community, seeing that I can't have a community tab until I have 10,000 subscribers. Thanks, YouTube. Let's go back to the chat here. Travis asks, what made you want to do Star Wars Lore Channel? I've wanted to do a Star Wars Lore Channel for a number of years. I just didn't have the resources available to me at that point in time. I was planning on a lore channel like way back when I was doing Lego stop motion videos on my Captain Forno channel. Back in those days, I did Arc Troopers and Battle of Bonadan and all that, and I I got the idea for the lore channel watching Star Wars Explained, and it recently came about in 2014 when the Star Wars Expanded Universe was decanonized, and I don't know, I was just seeing a lot of Star Wars lore channels that I liked going and you know, doing doing their own new canon thing, and you know, I wasn't interested in the new canon. I followed Star Wars Legends for, well, back then it was just Star Wars for since I was 8 years old, and I didn't want to see these stories just go off in a puff of dust. And yeah, a lot of Star Wars lore channels still do Legends lore, but I wanted to go like a step beyond that, and that's what I did. Um, then a friend of mine gifted me a copy of Adobe Premiere, and it took off from there. I taught myself how to use it, and then I figured out all these cool things I could do with it. And then, I remember watching the Nostarel Star Wars The Old Republic timeline videos back when The Old Republic was still in development, and I thought, oh wow, I could do like a hologram series, kind of like he did, like they did with The Old Republic. And the idea just took off from there. And then the name Manda-LORE was actually given to me by Psalm Raptor. He didn't come up with the name, but he runs a Facebook channel, not channel, like meme page called the Manda Core Ian, because all the Star Wars meme pages are like General Grievous Core, Lego Mace Windu Core, Clone Trooper Core, and then I got the idea. It was originally going to be Star Wars Legends Lore Master, but there's already a Star Wars Lore Master, and there's already just a Lore Master and a Lore guy. And then I thought, oh, why not the Manda-LORE Ian? And then I just shortened it to Manda-LORE because that just seemed more doable, you know. I haven't played around with Star Wars Empire at War map editor in a very, very, not a very long time, but I'm just trying to remember how to get all the custom map stuff. There we go. Default desert. That is not what I wanted to do. Edit, undo. Shoot, that's not what I wanted to do. That kind of ruined my whole map. Well, let's go back to the chat. So let's see. Let's go back up here again. Hey, Django. Django's my dog. You want to chill out there, buddy? That's not dirt you're digging at. That's the floor. Let me go up. Anime porn ads. I think that's where we last left off from the chat. Give us Tad lore, Battlefront 2. Have you ever heard about Star Wars Theory's Vader fan film? No, because I don't watch Star Wars Theory. I kind of unsubscribed from a lot of my lore channels when I made Manda-LORE, because I didn't want to like feel like I was riding on anybody's coattails. I didn't want to do a video because, oh shoot, Star Wars Explained just did a video on this. I should do a video on this because I could do it better. I didn't want to be like that, So I undid all of my subscriptions to those kind of channels. What made you do Star Wars lore channel? I just answered that. What's your favorite lore era in Star Wars history? It used to be the Clone Wars era before that got mucked up, but I'm reading a lot of the Old Republic era now, and it's fantastic. Um, I went back and reread Tales of the Jedi for my Exar Kun video, and I recently purchased some of the Knights of the Old Republic comics with Zane Carrick, and I've been enjoying those quite thoroughly. The one era of Legends lore I really need to brush up on because I haven't really read a lot of the new Jedi Order series, but all the Yuzon Vong stuff. That's why you haven't really seen any Yuzon Vong videos. And I have your guys' suggestions all logged in a big log on my computer. I just haven't gotten into to any of the Yuzon Vong stuff because I don't want to regurgitate Wikipedia. I want to read some of these sources for myself. I will not allow thoughts. Um, you're not going to turn into Star Wars Reading Club where he became a canon boy, right? No. Um, I have thought about doing new canon videos, but I've come to the conclusion I want to focus on Legends. I may do some new canon videos in the far future, and when I do, I'm gonna stick to things that I've seen. Like I'll do stuff about like maybe things we've seen in the Clone Wars because that's technically new canon as well, and I've seen that, so I feel more comfortable talking about those subjects than something from books that I haven't read yet or comics that I haven't read yet. Um, I saw that you also follow Grey Jedi 91 and Gensari. Did you ever consider doing a versus series yourself? I don't know a lot about Jedi lore to do that. They're very into all the lightsaber techniques and all the martial arts, and I'm more of the technology and the history side, while they're more of the force abilities and um, other side of things. And I want to restart this map. Hold on. I'm more into the technology. Like I could tell you all about Star Wars blasters. I could tell you all about Star Wars ships, and droids, and weapons, and I could tell you all about events that happen in the galaxy. I can't tell you off the top of my head what Sorasu is, and or what are the basic moves of Makashi. They could tell you all that stuff. Would I like to do collaboration videos with them at some point? Yes, I would love that. I love Gensari 1. We have the same outlook on a lot of the expanded universe, and I would love to talk with him at some point. But I doubt he knows I exist. Um, Speaking of Mandalore, what do you think about the new Mandalorian TV show? What's going to happen to them? I answered, I think it was Candor Sordo on this earlier. I said, I think it's going to be good for the new canon fans. It's obviously not going to be in the Legends universe. Jon Favreau is a fantastic director and writer, and I have every confidence in his abilities to make a good Star Wars live action TV show. If he avoids some of the mistakes that Ryan Johnson and you know all of them made with their filmmaking stuff. I can't judge the new canon films because I haven't seen them. All I can say is, this is what people have said. A lot of people didn't like Last Jedi, and if he just stays away with what people are doing wrong with the franchise and focuses more on what people are doing well with the franchise, he should be able. I think he'd be able to pull off a good show. You know, I don't want to be one of those Debbie Downers. It's just like the Mandalorian's gonna suck. Hold on, I have to discipline my dog. You need to move, because if you knock down Boba, I'm gonna knock you down. Lay down. Good boy. Hold on. I fucked up my Thule map and I'm trying to reload it. Legends mod maps. Thule. Yeah, I fucked up with Thule, so I gotta reload it. But let me go back to the chat here. I follow the Mandalorian. Good meme page. Yeah, Sombraptor's awesome. He's making a 750K fan film with his own money. Oh, good for him. Maybe I'll watch it. Candace Order asks, "Is your girlfriend also a Star Wars fan?" She's a casual fan. When I first met her about 4 years ago, um, she was telling me how she saw Force Awakens and how she thought it was awesome. And then, it was a first date, so I wasn't gonna go full, crusader on her. I was like, "Oh, that's nice." And she's like, "Have you seen it yet?" I'm like, "No, I'm not really interested." And she's like, "I thought you were a Star Wars fan." I'm like, "I am. It's just the Star Wars I'm a fan of is not the same Star Wars that's Star Wars today, if that makes any sense." But since then, I've opened up to her a little bit more about my feelings on the expanded universe and on the Star Wars franchise. And I've even gotten her to read the Republic Commando novels, which I was very excited about. And, she didn't hate them, which is all I can ask for. So, yeah. That was good. I'm just going to load some textures and I'll go back to answering questions. We'll do urban, metal. Can I select multiple? No. Alright. Texture scale 100. Brush size. Let's do 150. Because this is going to be where the ancient city of Kessiak is, where you fight the Dark Reaper in the final level of Star Wars Clone Wars, the 2003 video game. I don't know if it was for PlayStation 2. I've only seen it for Xbox back when I saw the game at Blockbuster. It was a fun game. Alright, let's go back to the chat. Video suggestions. Hold on. I want to go back up. Shit. Video suggestion. Every battle in the Galactic Civil War overview. Yep, I have got that planned. I'd like to do a Galactic Civil War overview, kind of like I did my Clone Wars overview. That's just going to take a long time to do. And, with the amount of free time I have right now, which is, I only have free time right now today because it's Saturday and my girlfriend's at work and I don't work till Monday. But a lot of my free time isn't, isn't that abundant anymore. So that is an obstacle I'm dealing with at the moment. But I will get to doing those big long videos at some point. Right now I'm just sticking to short videos that I can write and record within a week and, put together. Because I know people like regularly scheduled videos to know that their favorite channels aren't dead. And that's what I want to do, Nirvad, have you ever thought about doing a Manda-LORE translating video? I'm actually terrible with languages. When I did the Mandalorian culture video, it took me so many takes to do those lines where I'm quoting Manda-LORE because, my pronunciation game isn't that on point. I took German in high school, and I remember enough to tell time and order food. But if I went to Germany tomorrow, I'd be hopeless. So that's something I'm gonna have to learn the language fully myself before I go do something like that. But that's definitely a idea for a series in the future, and that's definitely something I think we can tackle. Let's go back to the chat here. Oh, bye, Kieran. Are traps gay? I don't. Boofire would say traps aren't gay, but I think traps are a little gay. If it has a penis and you're attracted to it, it might be a little gay. But who am I to say? Ryan Knight, you should reference new canon in a video as being fake news, communication between species and telling stories. um, well, I do little nods and jabs at the new canon sometimes when I'm talking about things like the Commission for the Preservation of the New Order, or things like, oh well, we don't know, anything after this point, probably because the entire universe got rebooted. But no, I haven't directly done anything like that. I've done little nods that if you pay attention, you're able to pick up on. And I rag on it a little bit, but people, the new canon probably has many things that are enjoyable about it, and I just love Legends, and I want Legends to be continued as an alternate, equally valid timeline to new canon. And I feel like Lucasfilm are so dumb for not utilizing a large portion of their fan base to, um, get stuff like that done. You know. Let's go back to the chat here before I work on the city a little bit. Take some back to Soldier. Have you ever thought of having some guests like IDK, the Facebook group, since the community is so small? Um, well, Sombraptor and I have been collaborating on a large timeline video that we're still writing. Um, and I'll when we do the uh Cantina Roundtable podcast, which hasn't been a lot lately because Boofire's internet's been shit, and overall them just being burnt out of Star Wars. It's like I'd like to. And actually, I was supposed to be a guest on. I was a guest on a podcast that I guess never aired, and then somebody even suggested to world class bullshitters that they should have me as a guest, and I didn't check my Twitter, and they were like, "Yeah, he should come by, like around this afternoon. We're doing a live stream. You should come, or some sort of podcast. He should come on." And then I didn't check my Twitter for like a month, and then it's like I saw this, and I'm like, "Oh, what? That's awesome! Oh, it's from August. Whoops." So you know, maybe next time. What if the Clone Wars era was explored in all three prequel films? I think Lucas would have gotten backlash if he made a lot of AOTC as Episode 1. I think about it while watching the microseries. Maybe. I haven't really thought about it that much. Um, when will the trilogy? When the trilogy is complete, you'll have to watch the new canon movies. Yeah, I will at some point. Solo was pretty damn good. Deus Vult, new canon trash. We shall take back Legends. At Manda-LORE, I love when YouTube desktop notifications or notifications in general don't work. Sorry, Jordan Peltier, if you're tardy to the party. I'm gonna be here at least until 2:30 my time, so about 15 more minutes. Um, the Battle of Disney World Orlando by Eckhart's Ladder. At Manda-LORE, perhaps an overview of some Rebel ships. Yeah, I've got some. I've got like the Viscount Dreadnought in my suggestions list, and I think next for videos is a tech video. Because if you notice, I've been doing them in an order. I've been doing focus videos, then tech, then locations, then biography, and then it loops around. So I think we're due for a technology video soon. Props Bespin building. Now the buildings in this city, what we saw from the game, look a lot like not Alderaan buildings. Maybe it was Coruscant. Yeah, they look like buildings like this. This kind of has like an ancient feel to it. So let's add a couple of these here. This will just be like the outskirts area of the city. Let's go back to the chat real quick so nobody feels neglected. You sound like Pawn Story Games? I have no idea who that is. All I remember from other languages is some Spanish and how to call someone a bucket in Mandalorian. Yeah, boucher. Oh, an ass bucket? Oh, I don't remember the word for ass. When Tad said traps were gay, he saved my goddamn soul. Is Tad's in the Legends verse? Yes, Tad exists in the Star Wars Legends universe. That's why he doesn't really do new canon videos. And that's why I've been hesitant on doing new canon videos. Because I'd have to do some sort of explanation as to like how he got in the new canon verse. You know? I'm really apologize if I'm snuffly. I'm just getting over a bad like chest cold. Um, I think it's hardest or unconcerned. Well, I think the hardest or unconcerned part of writing the new trilogy is creating new villains. I mean, you look at things like what's his name, Kylo Ren, and it's like he's a Jason Solo rehash, but without any of the character depth of Jason Solo, from what I hear. And it would be cool if they got sorry, I'm answering a text. Doing a live stream. I hope they do better writing videos and writing villains in the future, because honestly, the Star Wars villains is what makes Star Wars. I mean, what would Star Wars be without Darth Vader, the most badass villain in cinema history? What would Star Wars be without General Grievous? Django and Boba Fett. You know, so they do need to do a better job of writing villains. If again, I haven't seen any of the new shit, haven't read any of the new books, so just based off of what people say. Let's go back to the chat. Wait, not to get personal, but how old are you, my guy? I am 25 years old. At Manda-LORE, you don't have to say that it is for someone to see when someone is talking to them on a stream with a large audience. I myself am used to doing it. I don't know what that is in reference to. Honest, if you're reading the KOTOR comics, Roland Dyer video would be great. Yes, he's on my mind. I like Roland Dyer. I've also wanted to do shit. What's the evil Mandalorian scientist? It's like Demigula or something. Demeagle. Yes, I've wanted to do Demeagle as well. I've been basically sick since August. Now I'm feeling much better. Oh, good for you, Ryan Knight. I still have a Mucinex I gotta take. Just make an alternate Tad or a whole new character. But IDK, if you can do canon vids, you might alienate some Legends fans. Well, I would obviously still do Legends videos as well. Legends is my primary focus with this channel. And it says that right in the channel trailer when you first go onto the page. In a world where the new canon is is eclipsing the old, the one man, tries to keep the original expanded universe alive. That man is Tad Larkin. That is, like I said before, Tad lives in the Legends universe, so Legends is my primary focus. Let's go back to the chat here. What are your thoughts on Lucasfilm shutting down the KOTOR Unreal Engine mod? Should we be concerned of corporations interfering with fan-made work? Yes, because I've seen it so many times before. It's happened with Galaxy of Heroes, which was not Galaxy of Heroes, Galaxy in Turmoil, which was what fans took all the abandonware from Star Wars Battlefront 3, that free radical left when they went under, and they shut that down in a heartbeat. And even non-Star Wars games, like excuse me, somebody made a Lord of the Rings. It was supposed to be a full conversion Lord of the Rings mod for Morrowind, and Warner Bros. Was not having it. They shut that down immediately. And it's been something that's been there for as long as fan made things have been prevalent, you know. Um, I is it is it right for them to do it? I think you should let the fans have their fun. If it's a non-for-profit thing, like a not like Aperion was non-profit fan-made video game update, then I see no problem why they shouldn't have let them do it. But because they own the rights to Star Wars, they have every right to tell them to cease and desist. So it's a double-edged sword, but I would have liked to see their dream come to fruition. But there's only so much you can do. I love, there's a Republic Commando like revamp going around too that I've heard about, and I fear for that one as well, because it's only a matter of time before that one goes. So yeah, I'm very saddened by it, but I saw it coming from a mile away. Um, like in Broadcasting Network, you can say you're getting some odd transmissions to talk about the new canon. Yeah, that could be a way I can do it. I'll keep that in mind. That's a very good idea. Thank you. You are essentially a free man for not watching or reading the new canon. Mandalore for life. Well, the problem with that is, at some point, I'm going to run out of Legends books to read until they, get off their, not get off their butts, but stop being stubborn and realize, hey, there's an untapped universe here that we can, make books in and make more money. And, get those fans who left that we drove away back. Um, but at some point, there's going to be a point where I'm out of stuff to read, Star Wars wise, and I'm going to have to turn to it. I mean, it's already getting to that with my audiobooks. I like to listen to audiobooks in the car. That's how I listen to Plagueis. That's how I listen to Labyrinth of Evil. Um, and I used to have a long drive to work. I used to drive about an hour and a half both ways to work, and that's what got through me. That's what got me through the drive. And at some point I'm going to run out of audiobooks, and the people I get audiobooks from, they have new canon and old canon, and once I run out of the old canon audiobooks to listen to, I might dip into Thrawn or Tarkin, but definitely not going to read Aftermath. A lot of things that have been said about Chuck Wendig have turned off any interest in reading that novel. Do you collect Star Wars action figures? Yes, I do. Looking at my shelf, I've got some Star Wars miniatures. I've got a miniature Death Watch. I've got a miniature ARC Trooper with a flex gun. Couple Bobas, couple Jangos. I've got a Jango Fett Black Series, Jaina Solo Black Series. I've got a bunch of Pez. I've got Captain Fordo. I've got Obi-Wan. I've got Prince Shizor, Darth Vader. I've got Star Destroyer. I've got Obi-Wan's Ida 2 from Episode 3. So, Sand more Boba Fett's, Jodo Cast. I've got Dirge, the miniseries Dirge. I've got miniseries Grievous, miniseries Obi-Wan, miniseries Commander Cody. And then I've got a I've got a sideshow Star Wars Commander Neo figure. It's like 6 inches tall. It's really cool. Um, if Darth Vader was replaced by Dooku in the original trilogy movies, I think Count Dooku was like 80 in Revenge of the Sith, so he would have been like over 100 in A New Hope. EA shutting down Battlefront mods a possibility? I hope not. I mean, mods are mods. I mean, you do a game revamp is a different thing, but mods are a community created thing that I feel, you know, shutting down the modding community would just not be a good idea on their part. I've seen plenty of games like the Total War series used to be very moddable, and over the years I've seen it limited, and a lot of modders don't really like that, and I don't really like that either because I love mods. I'm making a mod right now as we're talking. Oh damn it, objects! Damn it! I really hope they don't because mods are what keep games interesting, and mods are like free DLC if you know how to install them. And we live in a video game world where all it is DLC. It's like pretty soon I'm predicting a future where in order to like end the game, you have to buy the other half of it. It's just DLCs. I was never a fan of DLC. I mean, back in the day, like with Halo and stuff, DLC was just an extra thing. It was an extra thing that you bought if you wanted to make the game like have a different experience. And now it's like DLC is either a thing you need or something, or like a skin pack that's just so useless. It's like, why would anybody need that? I mean, yeah, the skin is cool, but I'm just putting down a few of these. Kind of make like a border. I'm gonna align them all later. Kind of like what I did with Coruscant in one of my last live streams. I haven't finished that Coruscant map either. So the Legends mod is a Star Wars Empire at War mod that I'm working on that will encompass a lot of the time periods, the major time periods of the Star Wars Legends timeline. So there will be several different versions of Coruscant, and there will be a couple different versions of Thule. Like this version of Thule I'm making right now is Clone Wars, where the city, it's an abandoned ancient Sith planet. But let's go back to the chat here. Star Wars Battlefront Remake mod was shut down because they were going at EA on Twitter and saying their release is going to be better than the actual Battlefront 1 release. So EA said no. Well, they shouldn't have done that then. Don't poke the bear. They should have just did their mod and did their mod. Be honest. If Tad met Kathleen, would he smite that thought? Maybe. It depends on if there's a bounty on her head or how much money he could get for her. But I don't. I think Tad Larkin's a reasonable guy. He's not for killing for the sake of killing. He's a true Mandalorian, not a Death Watch, not a Kirsad. Probably Commando guy needs to be quiet about it. Yep. Don't do what thing is. IDK, what Legends books written by any new boys? Nah, man, they have some goofy writers. Well, if Legends never continued, I hope this would bring back like Kevin J. Anderson, and I would love for Karen Travis to come back, but her ship has sailed a while ago since Filoni. But it's definitely hope they bring back old authors to write in Legends. I don't think none of the new canon authors want to write in Legends anyway, because you see them on Twitter bash Legends all the time. I mean, I remember there was a author couple years ago, she got some flack for saying that she was better than, like, she pretended the prequels didn't exist. And everybody's like, well, how can you be a writer for Star Wars if you're ignoring a huge chunk of the Star Wars timeline? And it's like, these are the people they have writing new canon for them. And, you wonder why they're having some trouble. So, I wanted to leave the stream about 3 minutes ago, but we're gonna go till 3 o'clock. I'll give you guys an extra half hour because I enjoy hanging out with you guys and answering your questions. If they keep making books like Aftermath series, it won't matter if they continue Legends. Uh, I guess I guess so. I mean, Legends had its fair share of shit, but a majority of Legends books were good. The ones I've read, at least. I mean, yeah. Let's see. I own Cestus Deception. I didn't really like Cestus Deception. The writing style wasn't really that good compared to like Labyrinth of Evil and Republic Commando. Um, but I mean, Crystal Star, everybody rags about, with Waru and um, there is some shit in Legends, and I'm not opposed to that shit being thrown out if Legends is ever continued. I'm not opposed to people cleaning up the Legends timeline a bit when you know when um, if and when Legends is ever continued. Um, my only fear would be that they throw out all the awesome stories of the Clone Wars multimedia project in favor for Clone Wars. That would be my only fear with that. But yeah, definitely, I'm not against removing things from the Legends canon if it's ever established as official alternate timeline. Um, just say to Disney, you want money, go to Legends. Plenty of money in store. There is plenty of money in store. They're alienating a whole chunk of the Star Wars fan base, and they're basically saying, oh, fuck you. And we're just like, okay, well, we're not going to buy your shit unless it's Legends. That's why a lot of Legends fans went and they bought Jaina Solo. They went and pre-ordered it. And we all sent pictures of our receipts, and we made a giant collage, and we sent it to Lucasfilm, and we said, hey, everybody wants Legends, and they ignored it. The Give Us Legends movement put up a banner right outside of the Lucasfilm studios in California. They put up a billboard for like a month. Kathleen Kennedy had to drive by that billboard for an entire month. They ignored it. But I think they won't be able to ignore people not buying their new shit and buying Legends instead. So if you want to help Legends and, go buy a book with the Legends banner on it, go buy a comic with the Legends banner on it, show them, hey, we want Legends, your new crap is cool, but we want Legends. I think it's a good way to go about it. Show them where they look, their wallet. Um, mods are half the reason I play games. Exactly, mods are fantastic. iJosh64, how would you recommend making Mando armor? I'm getting a Mandalorian figure to practice on. What I did was, because I don't have the capability of forming armor plates, because I don't have a yard. I live in an apartment. I bought all my plates off of eBay and Etsy, and I bought my helmet. I bought all the materials to make my stuff. I mean, like, my kama I made myself, my holsters I made myself. But a lot of it I bought at, like, Army surplus stores. Like, my jumpsuit was from an Army surplus store. And then the rest were all things I bought and weathered and painted. And, because, some people just don't have the capability of forming plates. Would I like to at some point? Yeah, I mean, Sintra. I'd like to learn how to do Sintra. I've got a heat gun, and I've got, the capability of forming Sintra plates now. that I own a heat gun, but it's just it's something for the future. I recommend buying armor plates first, but if you want to do that, there's plenty of Facebook and social media groups that are Mandalorian mercs and non-Mandalorian mercs members, and they help you. I've gotten a great deal of good tips from those people. So, like, check out Mandalorian costuming and Mando-Ade on Facebook, and they've got plenty of people that'll help you with costume stuff. They're a fantastic group if you have a Facebook. DLC. You buy half a finished game, we'll sell you the rest for triple the price, basically. General CJG. Hey Tad Larkin, I just found out that you're doing an online Q&A session. Nice, and that's awesome. Are you creating a mod for Empire at War? Didn't know you were a modder. I am, and I am a modder. I worked on the Star Wars Clone Wars mod for Empire at War, and I made the Star Wars Clone Wars sub mod for Empire at War. And right now I'm doing the Legends mod for Empire at War, which is my own thing that I'm not getting really any help with. I'm just kind of doing by myself. I'll go back to the chat in a minute. I just want to place that. I'm going to have to add more civil blocks. Shutting down LucasArts was the first dumbest thing they did. Rip Star Wars 1313, traded Valorum for Palpatine. They did by giving the IP to EA. I don't disagree. LucasArts was a fantastic company that did not need to be liquidated, but I mean, I have a friend that worked for LucasArts, and now I think he's doing stuff for Boeing now, but he lost his job because of it, which wasn't fair. What did you think of the Attack of the Clones novelization? Haven't read it. What do you think of Dark Rendezvous? Read it. It was pretty good. Scout's name is so long and incomprehensible. I can't even begin trying to pronounce it. I'm glad they nicknamed her. The MedStar duology. MedStar is really cool. I like the way they portrayed Barriss Offee way better than they did in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I'll tell you that. Which Legends storyline would you like to be continued? Republic Commando. I want Imperial Commando, but I know that probably won't happen even if Legends is continued. How long do you think it will be till Disney Star Wars finally starts to feel like it's literally dying? I think once everybody stops buying shit, stops seeing the movies, and everything plunges, which it's not gonna happen. People will go see the movies. People buy stuff because the toy collectors don't give a shit about the story or anything. They just buy the toys. They see, oh, Kylo Ren's gonna be this cool new villain. I gotta buy his toy. Yeah, you got guys like Steve Sansweet Steve Sansweet. If you don't know who he is, he's the most famous Star Wars collector out there. And he has written a few Star Wars guidebooks, but a lot of it he's more into the merchandise than and that's what I feel like a lot of the collectors are. They're more into the merch than they are the story. So whether it's new canon or Legends, people are gonna buy the merch no matter what. You've got action figure buffs that will buy whatever. They shouldn't be worried about that. But I think there will be a point if they keep going down this path with the films that they keep doing things people don't like. You're not gonna watch a movie you're not gonna like. I mean, people are still gonna watch it, like the casuals and the people that don't know Star Wars and the diehard new canon fanboys that are just really doing it at that point to support the franchise and not even really if they like the movie or not. But the people who don't. There are people out there. I'm not saying all the new canon fans are like this. I'm friends with some new canon fans. I like a lot of the new canon fans. All I'm saying is there are people out there that don't know how to think for themselves, and they rely on companies like Lucasfilm to tell them what to think. And I think that's very sad. But what are you gonna do? Does it require hard skills to build your own armor? I had to learn. I had to teach myself how to, do a lot of the painting, and I repainted my recent helmet at least 4 different times because I fucked up or I didn't like the way it was going. So it was just, damn it, objects. It was just not um, satisfactory. I finally got it on, the like third try, but it's trial and error when you first start. But there are people out there who are pros and can get on the first try. Like people who've been in the Mandalorian Mercs costume club for years. They can, do stuff that baffles me. And I'd like to be invited to an armor party at some point, but I haven't really met a lot of Mandos around my area. I met one. She was nice, but never seen her again at any of the cons I go to regularly. I think she was with Faraxon clan, so she would have been able to help me get in. But uh, I just it's all about who you have as a contact. Armor parties are a great way where a bunch of Mandos get together and they say, "All right, what do you need to do to your armor to become an official Mercs member?" And then they help you get to that point, and that's what I want. Let's answer some more questions. Um, as a Doctor Who fan, I can say a new Star Wars is just bad. New series of Doctor Who is really good so far. That's good. I heard the new Doctor was a woman, and there was a lot of backlash about that. And I didn't. I watched Doctor Who. I watched a little bit of the Matt Smith and the David Tennant seasons because I had BBC America when I was living with my parents. But since I stopped living with my parents and I don't have cable anymore, I haven't watched it. I haven't watched any of the new series. Like I moved out right when Peter Capaldi was the Doctor, but I'm glad that the new Doctor Who series is good because I knew a lot of people were complaining about the new Doctor being a woman, and I didn't want them to go down. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I didn't want them to go down the same path with Star Wars with the Mary Sue, Ray, and all that. Um, you know, But as if that's good, that's awesome, and I'd love to, if I ever get access to watching Doctor Who again, I'd love to, see those new episodes. Um, what do the Clone Wars Legends novels bring to the timeline era that the TV show lacked or did better? Um, well, like I said in my video, why the Clone Wars doesn't fit in Legends, the Clone Wars itself as a conflict in the show is basically just the Republic and CIS like standing on opposite sides of the galaxy spitting at each other until episode 3. There's not a lot of troop movements, like it's hard, like a lot of it takes place already in the outer rim. And like in Legends, like before the show even existed, the Republic was losing the war for the first 2 years. General Grievous had this huge offensive that went up the Carillion trade spine and just like went into the core, and everybody was panicking. And General Grievous was just annihilating Republic forces. They launched the Victory class Star Destroyer 6 months early to counter the threat of Grievous. And then like 2 years and 6 months into the war, Palpatine releases the next wave of clones from Camino and Syntax 2. And we have the Phase 2 clones and all the Venators, and that's what pushed the CIS back into the core. So there's these huge offensives and offensive movements and um, you know just political intrigue happening that you don't see in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and you lose a lot of it, which I find is tragic. That's why I like reporting on Clone Wars multimedia project sources in my videos, and I have an aversion to doing stuff from TCW. And like I said before, if I ever do new canon stuff, I will cover TCW because TCW is part of the new canon, and I'd like to keep that differentiation. It bugs me when some of the Star Wars lore channels out there will do Legends videos and they'll include TCW. I'll be like, no, you keep the canon separate. Um, so a lot of what's going on in the galaxy at large is a lot what we didn't see in TCW that I wish we saw. And it's like the Republic wins every battle, and you know General Grievous is supposed to be this monster, this terrifying figure of the CIS military, and he runs away. Granted, that was George's choice; he wanted that, but I think the Legends authors wrote Grievous better than he did. you know, but what are you gonna do? But those are some of the things that TCW was lacking that are covered better in the Clone Wars multimedia project. Um, Fun fact: I heard Disney Star Wars merchandise is actually not selling that much, specifically their toys, thanks to Disney Star Wars fuck up with Last Jizz Fest backlash and Solo box office failure. Maybe I'm not really paying attention to that right now, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not a huge figure collector. Like I said before, I do have a lot of action figures, but I'm not like on Hasbro.com waiting for the new action figure to come out. I did see the new Black Series figure Walgreens exclusive is going to be Obi-Wan from the miniseries, and I'm definitely purchasing that the moment I can. But it's not, the action figure world isn't something I'm highly involved in. Do you have a custom Tad Larkin action figure? No, but I would love one. I know there are people that make custom action figures, and I can write into them and pay them to do one for me. One for me, but I just don't have the funds to do that right now. Maybe for Christmas or something when I get some money, I'll do it. Female doctor was definitely a shock. I thought my understanding of the doctor was that he could change his appearance a lot, so why couldn't he be a woman? You know. Um, but then again, I'm not as into Doctor Who lore as a lot of other people, so I could be wrong in assuming that. I only watched a couple seasons with David Tennant and Matt Smith, so. Um, Follow up. I love Legends General Grievous far more. Legend General Grievous is very awesome. We expected something similar to New Star Wars with the Femme Doctor in 910 series. Were very sexist against men. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know if I saw series 9 and 10. If that was a Capaldi, if those were Capaldi seasons, then I probably didn't see them. Um, but I didn't think the Matt Smith or David Tennant seasons that I watched, I didn't really see any sexist things in there, but maybe I wasn't reading between the lines. Question: have you found someone that actually debunked or disputed your why TCW doesn't fit in Legends videos? No, but I haven't been looking. I've got better things to do with my time than watch some guy for 2 hours. I know there have been people that have done reaction videos. I just haven't watched them. This guy did a 1 2 hour video where he supposedly quote unquote ripped me apart, but I wasn't gonna sit there and like for 2 hours and watch him spew bullshit out of his mouth. I mean, I made my points. I have my sources to back up what I said. And that's good enough for me. If you don't want to believe me at that point, that's you. I'm working on a video right now called "The Truth About the Expanded Universe," and right now it's 14 pages, and it's definitely going to be a lot like Star Wars. Why the Clone Wars doesn't fit in Legends, but I've got better things to do than listen to my critics, and I have very low self-esteem as it is, so I really don't need any more negative self-esteem in my life. So, it's just don't haven't looked don't really want to. I said what I needed to say, and I feel good about what I said. So, remember when they brought Delta Squad in just to say they got a Jedi body? God damn, I was pissed they didn't do more. I was pissed that they didn't use Tamara Morrison and the guy who played Scorch and the guy who played Sev and the guy who played Fixer. I thought that would have been cool if they got all those voice actors together and then they did like an episode where they go on a mission. That would have been cool. But shit happens. They just wanted to. They just. I think the reason why they included Delta Squad was because all the backlash with the Mandalorians and like, hey, have you even read Republic Commando? Maybe that was Dave Filoni saying, yeah, I read Republic Commando. I know who Delta Squad is. Even though, newsflash, Republic Commando isn't about Delta Squad. It's about Omega Squad. So, but whatever. I think your points on the Clone Wars multimedia project explain why the Clone Wars should have been been the conflict of the prequels, because the Phantom Menace, the prequels have large time skips. Yeah, in between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, it's like 10 years. I always see Last Jedi and solo copies filling the shelves in the stores. Even with the discounts, no one wants to buy them. I don't want to buy them, I'll tell you that. Nothing against that film. Be careful, Tad. Are you assuming gender? Nah, I'm joking. It's I've got plenty of friends in that that are gender fluid and or pansexual, so I really do try not to offend them. So if anybody is offended, I do not mean it. I try to be PC without being overly PC. I try to make sure everybody's happy, but keep it realistic. I'm not, if you're a girl that dresses like a boy and you want me to call you a boy, sure, whatever. But I'm not gonna use special pronouns like shklim or shklur, and I'm not gonna call you a Megatron attack helicopter or whatever your preferred gender is, But within reason. Like I've got plenty of trans friends that, I've got post-op trans friends that, one was once a girl and now he's a guy. I only know him as a guy, so that's what I call him. I try not to offend anybody. I try to be as PC as possible, within reason. Let's answer some more questions before I just dig myself into a hole here. Oh yeah, I saw that guy with the 2.5-hour video, and he was literally was heavy biased towards TCW, and even claims that TCW 2008 had no contradictions at all towards the Clone Wars multimedia project. Yeah, that's false. I can't wait for the truth of the expanded universe, Manda-LORE. Love your content. Thank you, Julio. Thank you for subscribing and being here with me, and thank you guys all for subscribing. Actually. And it is 2:56, so I will be wrapping up in about 4 minutes here. Jordan Peltier says it was in Peter's era, not Matt or David's eras, which were season 2 or 7. Thank you, Jordan. And David was 2 to 4. Okay, awesome. Thank you for clearing that up. Well, I finally caught up with the chat. That was a mouthful. I don't think Kathleen Kennedy knowledge of Star Wars lore holds a candle to Kevin Feige's knowledge of the Marvel Universe. That could be true. I don't know a lot about Marvel. I was never really into superheroes. I grew up reading the Star Wars comics, was never really into the superhero thing. I'm trying to find like a circular wall structure. Because in the game you had the circle area where you had the what do you call it, the Dark Reaper, and that's what I want to recreate with this thing here. Oh, maybe I can use this. Oh no, that's not big enough. And just build walls around it, but that is not big enough for what I want to do. So, I'll go back and check the chat, see if there are any more questions. Ryan Knight, I do love your videos after all. No thanks needed. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Ryan. Um, I want to these last couple minutes here before I end the stream, I want to ask you guys, what do you want to see with my channel? Like, how do you want me? If you noticed, I've been progressing, I've been evolving, and I feel personally that the content is getting better, and I hope you guys feel that as well. But if not, I want this to be an opportunity for you guys to say, hey, I don't like this, can you change this? Or, hey, I think it'd be cool if you did this instead of that. Or, I'm noticing a influx of dislikes. I'm noticing stagnation in channel growth, and I want to be better. I want to grow. I want to be as big as Star Wars Explained, if not bigger. I want my videos on Wikipedia Legends tabs, you know? I want to be the go-to Star Wars lore channel, and I can't get there without you guys, and I'm thankful for you guys every day keeping this channel going, and you guys are what keep me making videos. So I want you guys to have a say, and this is opening the floor. What do you guys want to see? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? And what do you think I can improve on? So the floor is open. I'm gonna go to the chat now and see what you guys think. Um, if possible, I would like to do a video in which you can maybe go EU novel through EU novel chronologically that references TCW 2008, and you tell us a suggestion or tip how to retcon that TCW reference. That would be interesting. Um, it's definitely something I could do. It's not something I feel I want to focus on right now, but I can jot that idea down, you know? Sorry, I'm answering a text. Commander Chris Stinger, I have a few things to say, but give me a sec to write it down. Okay. Maybe do some theory discussions on EU stories that were never finished. That could be good. You know what? I've got a pen and a piece of paper right here. So I'm going to write some stuff down. So, theories about stories that have never finished. I kind of do that in some of my videos anyways. Like when I talked about Quinlan Voss, him surviving Order 66, and then we have nothing after that. And I talked a little bit about, I believe I talked a little bit about the Tales comic, where him and Billy Gark are old men and they meet a young Han Solo. Though that comic was non-canon, but I think I speculated like, um, we didn't hear anything about, we haven't heard anything about Quinlan Voss since, but there's been speculation that I think I did that, but I'll have to go back and look at my script for that. But definitely theories about unfinished legend stories. Legends story arcs. Have you ever seen SOTOR Jedi Historic Archive reports? That could leave some ideas. I have not. If you want to link that to me, I'd be more than happy to check it out. Okay, I feel you should definitely get some variation in content, maybe other types of videos, maybe like rants. I'd really like to avoid doing rants on this channel. I have Captain Fordo for that, I have why Star Wars The Clone Wars doesn't fit part 1 and 2 on there. I'm gonna have the truth about the EU on there. I'd like to avoid getting into toxic fanboy rants on this channel. I want this channel to be lore, and this channel it's supposed to be you intercepting a transmission from Tad Larkin, and I feel if I start going off on rants, then that's just going to break immersion for you, because it's like, oh, I'm not intercepting transmissions from a Mandalorian historian. I'm just intercepting some geek in his attic, fucking ranting about Star Wars. You know, excuse my language. Um, Jordan Peltier, keep doing what you're doing, doing Mandalore, and mostly because new Star Wars fans don't like to hear about Legends. I don't understand why not. I mean, if I was somebody new to the Star Wars fandom, I would want to know how things were before. I would get curious and I would want to know how things were before the new canon, you know? And I feel like that's what Legends videos do for people. It's like, hey, I want to know this is what was canon before, what's canon now. And that's why I don't include Star Wars The Clone Wars in a lot of my videos, like events from it, because that's what's canon now. My philosophy is when you're watching a Legends video, you want to know what was canon, and what could still be canon if Legends has ever continued. Um, Streams also really help. I can do more streams if you guys like. They'll probably be on Saturdays, times like this, when I'm not recording a video. Um, how about discussing what happens between 25,000 BBY and 5,000 BBY? Same for 45 BBY. I discussed a little bit about that in my Supreme Chancellor video, but yeah, I can do that. I can put that on the suggestions list. Um, Julio Access War Journal for the Clone Wars battle timelines described in Legends. I don't know what you mean by War Journal. If you'd like to elaborate on that a little bit, it might help me understand a bit more. Can you do something on Lana Beniko or the Eternal Empire? She's a very unique Sith. I've been kind of staying away from SWTOR stuff because I recently bought a few books in the SWTOR books. I have The Old Republic Deceived, Fatal Alliance, and Annihilation. I bought those the other day. Um, and I'd like to wait until I read those books before I do a lot of SWTOR stuff because I feel if I'm just regurgitating Wikipedia, then why are you watching my video? You could just be reading the Wikipedia page. Um, so I really like to avoid doing stuff like that until I've read some of the source material because I don't like regurgitating Wikipedia. I mean, it's fine for like doing some fact checking or like checking to make sure there aren't any sources I missed, but um, I could definitely add it to the list, but it probably won't be anytime soon. Ryan Knight, I love your lore videos. I do recommend trying to make different types of videos, something like a Legends playthrough while also explaining the lore behind the game. Overall, you're doing a good job. Thank you. Um, yeah, I've seen one guy. I don't remember his YouTube channel name, but he was playing like Knights of the Old Republic, not Knights of the Old Republic. He was playing Jedi Knight, and while he was going through the game, he was explaining Dark Forces Jedi Knight, not Jedi Knight Academy. He was explaining all the lore behind everything, which I thought was neat. So I could definitely do something like that. I've got most Star Wars games, um, so that's definitely something I can do. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Mandalore should intercept other characters. That would be really cool. I'm doing a collaboration with Sombraptor. He has his own his own suit of Mandalorian armor and his own Mandalorian character, and that's definitely something we're going to be doing in the future. Um, if I had any friends that would like to dress up as like different characters, that would be cool. Having like Han Solo come in, but that's definitely something I can keep in mind. Jordan Peltier, I know what you mean as a Halo fan who could probably make a lore channel, but I will leave that to the Halo canon. Basically, you, but for Halo. Would suggest looking him up for some content ideas. I read a lot of the Halo books when I was younger. I read First Strike and Flood, and actually, I think I have First Strike on my bookshelf right now. I don't know what happened to Flood, but yeah, the Halo lore was very interesting. But I just never got into it as much as Star Wars and Lord of the Rings lore. Um, Star Wars: The Old Republic Galactic Timeline records are on YouTube. Yep, I Yeah, that's I like them. They're pretty good. So you want me to do kind of like what Nostarel does, but for the Clone Wars? That's definitely something I could do. Jordan Peltier. Yeah, I know Halo Canon is a YouTube channel, but I was talking about the Halo Canon as in its expanded universe as well. I kind of got on a tangent there. I'm sorry. But so we're coming up. It's 3 o'clock, 3:08 to be exact, my time. So I'm sorry I didn't get a lot of the map done. It was probably boring for you guys to watch, but I'm glad I got to answer questions and I'm glad I got some good feedback. This doesn't mean you don't have to stop giving me feedback. You can comment on other videos and tell me things you'd like to see more with the channel as well. So, people watching the stream post stream are good um, to comment if they want. You could do some more collaboration videos with other EU YouTubers like Dark Sinovia and Matt Wilkins. I would, like I said before, I would love to collaborate with Jinsari 1. He's really cool, and we have a lot of the same outlooks on the expanded universe. But yeah. Before I get in the way, carried away, gonna close the stream now. Thank you guys for joining me. I had fun. Hope you guys had fun, and I'll see you, in the next transmission. I think we've got a spooky Halloween one coming up, so yeah, that'll be awesome. All right, guys, I'm ending the stream now. I'll see you guys later.